Welcome to a recent edition on the Formula One calendar. It's Friday practice here for the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg. We should be set up for an interesting session as the teams attempt to gather as much data as they possibly can about this circuit.
They'll have to go out and start testing the track limits, so you might see quite a few cars running wide or locking their wheels as they see how hard they can push. As they get used to the track, the times will get faster and we should see less mistakes.
Well, you don't need to be a genius to realise that this track requires serious power in order to make the most of the long straights. So those with a Mercedes power unit in the back of their cars, well, they're going to feel pretty confident here.
This is a power-hungry circuit, and that means it will definitely favour the teams with a Mercedes power unit. That's pretty much the key requirement for a lap time around a track like this with its long straights. Teams without the power advantage will have to consider sacrificing some wing in order to lower their drag.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to some Formula One 2015. Today we are in Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix. This track is extremely beautiful, and it has a lot of high-speed corners and a lot of long straights that we're going to try and see what we can do in the practice and the qualifying. So let's go ahead and head right into practice. Here we go. Let's get into it. Alright, now we're in practice, so we're going to set the first lap. We're the first person out on the track, so that's just how I do things. That's always how I like to do it. So we're going to go ahead now and cross the line. Obviously, we're the first, because again, we are the first people out on the track, so we are going to set the fastest time. So now we're going to see if we can pull anything else, hopefully stay there, but we actually end up dropping back down into position 2. So that is not bad. We're still at the beginning of practice, so we're going to keep going, keep trying to pull out time, just keep trying to testing the car out. Testing the turns, testing different ways to take the turns, and so now we're going to come across the line here. We've actually dropped down to position 3, but let's see if we can set it again. Yep, we actually did set it there. Position 1 in practice, so that is pretty good. We are doing very well now. So I'm getting used to the track, getting used to the high straight corners, using that, as the announcer said in the beginning, using that power that Mercedes cars have with the long straight. Now we're just going to go ahead and see if we can pass Ericsson, and I think we do that. Yeah, we do that. We're going to pass him. And yep, I heard a little bit of a bump there on the rear tire, but I didn't actually even feel it on the controller at all, so I don't think it even went through, so that's good. So now we're not gonna go into the pits, we're just gonna go right straight to the race line and see if we can maybe set something last minute, see if we can improve the time at all, but I don't think we do, so let's go ahead and head into qualifying now.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. With low on fuel, you'll need to return to the pits within the next couple of laps. Nico's in P4 at the moment.
Alright, now we're in the first lap of qualifying. We're going to see what we can set here. Again, first track out on the car, like always. Let's see, we're obviously going to be the fastest now, but let's see what kind of time we can get. Okay, that's not a bad time, but I definitely know I can improve that. I definitely know people are going to beat that. That is by no means the fastest time I'm going to set here today. So that's definitely, we're going to see what we can pull out. Just kind of try to take the corners as well as we can. We've actually dropped down to position 7 in lap 4. So we're going to see right now, we're going to go ahead and take this corner as best we possibly can, pulling all the power we can out, using the DRS across the line. Let's see what we get. We actually do get 3rd position. It's not 1st, but it's 3rd. We're in the, I think, 2nd row, so that's good. We are in pole right now, and it's always good to start the race in pole, because if you start in pole, unless you mess up, you're probably going to end up finishing pole. So that's always something good. That's always something very nice to look at. So we're just going to see if we can pull anything up. But we kind of... I don't think much else comes of it, because we actually start to lose positions, because I think I made a mistake, and that mistake was like actually staying out too long on the track. So like what I did, instead of maybe pitting and waiting till somebody else beats the time, or like, you know, I dropped down then going back out trying to beat that time near the end of the session, instead I just stayed out, ran 13 laps pretty much in session. So that actually was my mistake, and that might actually cost me the race, or maybe even worse than that. So we're gonna go, I think, in a couple seconds here. I don't think much else comes from qualifying right now, so in a couple seconds here, I think, yeah, now we are gonna go ahead and head into the race. So let's see what we can do there in the race.
What a drive by Nico Rosberg. He's got the fastest lap of the session and is on pole position for tomorrow's race.
Well, he's on the front row and on the clean side of the grid, so unless he gets a poor start, the other drivers might have trouble getting anywhere near him tomorrow.
Welcome one and all to Spielberg for today's race, the Austrian Grand Prix. The circuit is owned by Red Bull. One might think this will give them an advantage. Only time will tell. Pole position can only be secured by one driver, and the lucky gentleman goes by the name of Nico Rosberg this weekend. You wouldn't bet against the German driver pressing his Mercedes to victory today.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
Fernando Alonso has been consistently out-qualifying his teammate this season, once again underlining his talent as what many think is the most complete driver on the grid.
Fernando is such a great driver. He always seems to outperform the car, and this season he's comfortably outperforming his teammate in qualifying too. His one-lap pace has been excellent.
All right, here we go, guys. We're in Austria. We're going to rev up to 5 lights now. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. Let's go. Let's get into it now. We're right beside Massa, and our teammate is actually in first place. So we actually have to go to a pit right away. So we're going to try and move up the field as much as we can. But I don't think, because we made that mistake, like I said before, in running the tires too long in qualifying, we're actually stuck with the same tires now in the race, and they're quite worn. So we actually have to do a pit right away, immediately. So right now, Bottas and Raikkonen are battling for what looks to be third. So I'm just going to stay out of their way. A little bit of contact with Bottas, probably not helping him out too much, but Raikkonen is probably very happy that I did that. We're just going to try and push as much as we can up this field, because we need to, because we're going to go into the pits, which is probably going to put us in the back of the pack. So that's really not somewhere we want to be, but we're trying to get as fast and as far away as we can. But on this 1 or 2 single laps that I think we have to even do that. So, but we're not letting the lead pack getting away too much, so that's a good thing to note there. But I don't know, because I'm still dealing with the tire wear. The tire wear is very much there for me. Like, I made that mistake, and it actually cost me a lot of time. It's actually costing me a lot of time. Right here, I don't have as much grip on those corners. Like, I should be able to just whip the car into those corners and just take off, like, as soon as I press it, it goes. So, but it's actually really not doing too well. But we're gonna kind of taking the bump there. I tend to take that bump there just because it cuts the corner a little bit, I guess. So now we're gonna actually have to come into the pit, trying to avoid collision with Massa. I don't know why they're taking this line, trying to avoid them, but we're gonna go into the pit because we need the pit right now. And let's see what happens to our position. Hopefully we've gotten far enough, but it doesn't look like it. How rapidly the position is dropping. 14, 15. Yeah, I think we're actually going to end up in the, yeah, we're 20 of 20. That was a really fast pit stop, but we're still ending up in 20 of 20. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of catching up to do. That I probably won't, I'll keep that in mind next time, so I don't have to make that mistake again, because this is actually going to cost us. But let's see what kind of thing we can do here to maybe finish pole. Hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can push our way up the pack. We got a long way to go to that. Let's see what we can pull out of it. Let's see if we can do anything about that. We're actually not too far, but there's a collision here, right up here, and it's quite a lot of cars. I have a feeling it was caused by Ricardo, but he actually has no wing. You can see that there. We actually gained a lot of positions, overtaking Bottas, because he's going kind of slow. I think there's also something wrong, and I didn't realize that, so now we actually have to give him the position so we don't take a penalty. So we give him the position there. Now we're just going to go up. Passing Stevens, absolutely no problem with him. Now I think we're going to go ahead and overtake Bottas. I think there's actually something wrong with his car as well. I think he was involved in that collision a little bit too, so that actually affected him, which is quite unfortunate for him. Now we're coming up on Alonso for 9th position. We're running up the field like crazy because we pitted first, so now we're going to overtake a lot of people who are just taking their first pit stop now. That's kind of helping us a little bit get on with the acceleration, but we're probably like 20 plus seconds from Raikkonen or whoever's in first now. I don't know who's in first now, but position 8 from position 20 is not too bad. We're pushing up quite well. We're gonna come up on Mary now. Not too bad. Going on the dirt a little bit because he didn't seem to want to move, and I was definitely faster than him. I had to do something there. So now we're in position 10. Lost a couple positions because I think I actually did a pit stop. That's why we actually lost that position there. I'm pretty sure that would be the reason why we did that. So, but yeah, back to position 8 now. We're just gonna overtake Alonso. after that couple of pit stops there. So lap 10, we're racing now with Sanis, but we're actually going to go into the pit stop and with him. So this is going to be quite interesting. We're going to see who actually has the fastest pit stop. I think his pit is actually further down the lane than mine, so he might actually get luckier than I do. I have to stop right here, and he can't really see. He's right near the end of that line, so if his pit crew is fast enough, we'll see right now. They'll tell me that we're going to be racing on the exit, so I'm assuming his pit crew, is quite fast himself, so he's right ahead of us. So we're going to be racing for what looks like to be position 7, 8 now, unless Hulkenberg gets in front of him before that. I think, yeah, okay, so yeah, we're going to be racing for position 8 with Sanis. Shouldn't be too much of a deal. So we've chased him down now, moved up to position 7, passed a couple people in the pits again. So now we're going to pass him, not too much of a problem there. We're much faster than he was. Clean overtake, no problem there, all good. So let's see what else we can pull out of this here. It's just race now, try to get as much corners as we can, trying to get as much power as we can. Now we're going to come up on Nassar. Just going to pass him very easily, not too much of a big deal either. Use a DSR, blow by him. He doesn't stand much of a chance for my DRS and this car's power. There's Mercedes power. As soon as you press that DRS button, you are gone. So we're going to come in here for, I think it's the 3rd pit now. Or the 3rd or 4th pit. I don't know how many pits we had to do in this thing. But we're in position 3 now, so that's very good for us. This is where we want to be. So we've actually managed to work ourselves up pretty much almost the entire field besides Raikkonen, and I believe Rosberg is in 1st. Raikkonen is probably quite far ahead. I have so much ground to make up on him, but now we've lost position 3 to Massa, but I don't think Massa was that fast even in practice. I don't know. I know in qualifying he had a very good qualifying, but we'll see. So we've chased him down now, lap 22. We're going to pass him quite easily as well. Just go on his inside, no problem at all. Now we're going to come up on Stevens. Hopefully, no. I usually see a lot of guys get into collisions with the Mercedes guys because when they get the blue flag, their AI kind of wonks out a little bit, and they act weird when they get the blue flag. So I'm always hoping when I pass these guys that nothing actually comes of that. And actually, nothing actually did. We're back up to position 3 now. I don't think that is Raikkonen just yet, but I know he's... No, I think that is Raikkonen then. That looks like him. I can't really see it. But, yeah, that is indeed Raikkonen, but I could have maybe stretched it another lap, but that's not to say that I would have actually caught Raikkonen. I could have taken a chance, but I didn't want to, because if I had a puncture, that would have cost me probably the race. I would have probably ended up in 10th position by the end of the race as opposed to maybe pole if I pit now. So that's exactly what I decided to do. Raikkonen's obviously, we're probably going to stick ourselves in position 3 by doing that, but I didn't want to make it any worse than I already had done by using the tires too much in qualifying. I knew how much that messed me up in qualifying, so I didn't want to do it again. By all means, I did not want to do that again. But we actually didn't lose position, and nobody seemed to have really gained on us too much there. That was an excellent pit stop, excellent timing as well. So now we can try it and maybe push up the line. Maybe get, now I'm just hoping that somebody messes up Raikkonen or Rosberg, and that helps me, like what happened in Monaco. Then that helps me get, 1st or 2nd position. I think the same thing happened for Raikkonen, where he ran into somebody and then I actually gained his position. I believe was 1st. So that's that corner there. I really have a problem with it. I didn't. That was a reoccurring thing. That was very consistent. What you just saw there, I pretty much did that every time. I didn't know how to take that corner, and I lost a bunch of time doing that. I wish I could have maybe spent more time with that corner. As you can see now, it's starting to rain a little bit, so that's actually going to affect everybody. So now my chances of Raikkonen maybe running into a collision will increase just because of the rain. The rain makes it hard, and I don't think we actually need to switch to any intermediate at all because we're on lap 32 and now lap 34. So coming up on Paris Strappin, he's getting the blue flag because I am obviously on a different lap than he is. I'm obviously much faster than he is as well, so he's going to let me pass, no problem there. No need to swerve out of the way, no collisions caused there. It's raining quite heavily now, so I'm actually having a little bit of trouble with grip now. Pushing Alonso out of the way, I thought that he was going wide, but I also wanted to go wide, so I thought that I didn't brake early enough and didn't take him on the inside. So Massa is right behind us now, but it looks like this is going to be the end of the race. This is Rosberg has won the race, so we're gonna have to take 3rd position, which isn't bad. It's not 1st, but nor is it a win, but it's still full. So let's go ahead and head to the podium right now.
Mercedes came out on top today, with Nico Rosberg bringing home the car in first place to add another 25 points to his championship total.
It was a fantastic performance and one that they should be very proud of. Every part of the team pulled together to achieve today's result.
Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
Alright guys, there you have it. That has been the Austrian Grand Prix. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. I really hope you enjoy watching this series as much as I enjoy playing the series. This game is a blast. This game is fun. I really like F1. So as always guys, if you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. And if you really want to, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it more than you know. And that's it for me guys. Peace.